Okay, we continue with the next part, which is on elasticity. Okay, so now we look at the first type of elasticity, which is price elasticity. Okay, we have next is we have income elasticity, and we have also cross elasticity. Okay, so we have three different types of elasticity. Okay, so the first one is price elasticity, okay, in which we are looking at the impact of the change in price on the customer's responsiveness in terms of their purchase. Okay, for example, if you compare two products that you can buy, okay, so I make a comparison of first necessity product like food, in which you have to consume every day, and another one is let's say cars. Okay, so what will happen if there is a change in the price of food? Okay, so the price of food, for example, if you buy a bread, okay, let's say the price of bread increased from 1 ringgit to 1 ringgit and 50 cent. So what will happen to the demand of food? The demand of food will reduce, but we want to see how many percent, okay, is the reduction in the demand of food. Let's say the demand of food will reduce by only 5%. Okay, because food is considered as basic necessity, so whether you like it or not, okay, the increase in the price, even if there is an increase in the price, you still need to buy food. So even if you reduce your purchase, you cannot reduce too much, because you still need to purchase food, okay, because it is a basic necessity product. But in another situation, if there is an increase in the price of cars, okay, there will be a reduction in the demand of cars, but the reduction will be even higher, maybe about 20%, okay, for example, okay, because cars is not basic necessities. So people are very responsive towards the change in the price of cars as compared to the change in the price of food. Okay, because usually the change in the price of cars will be higher than the change in the price of food. Maybe food will increase by 50 cent, but cars, if there is an increase in the price of car, it will not increase by 50 cent. That is not logical. The price of cars will increase, for example, by 1,000 or 5,000 and so on, which is a lot. Okay, so that involves a lot of money. Okay, the change in a huge amount of money. So what will happen is, if we compare these two responsiveness, the change in the demand for food will be 5%. Meanwhile, the change in the demand for cars is about 20%, for example. So you can see that the customers are more responsive, okay, towards the change in the price of cars, and not too responsive towards the change in the price of food. So this is what we mean by elasticity. So if the demand is responsive towards the change in price, we call it as elastic. Okay, we call it as elastic. But if there is not much change in the demand for a certain product, when there is a change in price, we call it as less elastic or inelastic. That is the example of situation that I can use to explain elasticity. Okay, so what we are going to do next is we are going to calculate the elasticity level of a certain product when there is a change in the price of that product. Okay, so let's look at the next slide here. So this is how we can calculate price elasticity of demand. Okay, so how to calculate elasticity? The formula is the change in quantity demanded, the percentage change in quantity demanded, you have to divide with the percentage change in the price. Okay, the change in quantity demanded divide with the change in the price of that particular product. For example, okay, here I put the formula, I put it as E. E here is considered as elasticity of demand. Okay, so the formula is change in quantity demanded divide with the change in price. Or we can put here the change in quantity demanded can be calculated as QD1 minus QD0 divide with QD0. I will give you example later on. Okay, on the calculation. And then you divide with the change in price, which can be put as P1 minus P0 divide with P0. Or instead of dividing this, okay, change in quantity demanded divide with change in price, you can also multiply. Okay, like the one in your slide here. Okay, you can actually multiply, in which the change in the change in price, you have to rotate. Okay, so P2 minus P1 should be at the bottom and P1 should be above, okay, on top. So here you can multiply. So you can either use this kind of calculation here, or you can use this kind of calculation in which you can multiply the change in quantity demanded, okay, multiply with the change in the price, but you have to invert. You have to invert the calculation. So P0 should be up here and P1 minus P0 should be down here. Okay, so you can use either one of the calculation using this one or this one, but I recommend you to use this kind of calculation. Okay,